I really wanted to slow down this week, so I decided to deep clean my workshop, give you guys an in-depth tour to show you exactly what's going on and what I have to work with, all the while answering some questions that I asked you on the community tab to see what you guys were interested in knowing, since I haven't really done a Q&A in a really long time, and there's a lot of new people here. Oh my gosh, why do I start these projects? Also, the main reason I wanted to do this project is because my friend Lainey from Pine and Birch makes these rad metal signs. I'll link her Etsy shop and her store and everything else down below. But she posted this one day because it just sat in the vinegar for too long, so it got all rusty. But you guys know copper is my vibe. It just so happened to be one of my favorite quotes. So I want to incorporate this guy because it is just too beautiful to not. I'll definitely link her shop. I mean, it's just like the detailing on it is honestly out of control. This is a little trio, like a vlog, Q&A, plus a tutorial. I needed to update my wood storage because frankly, the DIY ones that I've done prior on my channel just were absolutely terrible. That is because I did not have the patience to make them level, but this laser level always comes in handy. I've been loving this thing lately. Anyways, I just ended up purchasing ones that everyone gets off of Amazon. I have linked everything down below for you as well, and I decided to hang up 4 across the top and get it out of the way of the bottom portion where I store all like my larger pieces of lumber, like 4x8 sheets of plywood. I am drilling these directly into studs in the wall. If you do not have studs, you need to hang it properly with drywall anchors, so be careful. And for those of you that do not know, I do work out of our 3-car garage. I basically take up 1 car's side worth with my tables and like my main sets, but the other 2 walls I am just taking up. I'm not taking up the floor space, so we can still park our 2 cars in there every single day and night. I tacked the quote up to my wood storage where I think I want it permanently, but I just did it with nails because my friend Tony is going to come out and do like a mural onto this wood storage, so I wanted to make it easily removable. Wood storage is done, and now we need to move to the mess behind the camera that I have been avoiding for roughly a month now because the immense amount of projects coming in and out of it. But if I'm being 110% honest, I don't want to clean it. I haven't had the motivation. So in order to gain that motivation, I asked you guys to ask me questions that you guys want to know because I haven't done a Q&A in a while. So I thought it would be fun to clean a space, answer a question, clean a space, answer a question. That way it kind of keeps me going through the entire space. And then I can let you guys in on how my workshop is laid out right now and what I want to do with it for 2020. This wood storage is looking fabulous. I'm actually gonna have my dad come out and fix this drywall patch because I am not particularly good at that. Know your strengths and weaknesses, people. Moving on to over here. Oh my gosh, guys, okay. It's just like mess on mess on mess. And it's not like an organized mess. It is just a little bit of everything everywhere. It's just full of a bunch of stuff. So let's just get started, answer a question, and then clean. The first section that we're gonna tackle today and clean up is the actual like set is what I would consider my workshop to be. It has that copper table that is my tried and true throughout all my videos with the triangle shelf and the little geometric wood art to the left. This thing is covered in dust, trash, and I don't even know what else I need to scrape off the table. But before I do that, I'm gonna answer the first question, which is Darcy, and she asked, what is my favorite part about redoing a room? My favorite part about doing a room is actually tailoring it to the person and their actual lifestyle needs. So I never like leaving a room feeling like they're gonna move something or change something. I want them to really tell me what they need and how they're gonna function throughout the space. And it's almost like a little bit more of a challenge for me to make that space function for them versus how I would actually decorate it for myself. I can't choose between one favorite part. I think my other most favorite part is everything that's in the details that you guys actually might not notice in my videos. And every single room makeover that I've done, there are little bits and pieces that people have collected that I've implemented back into the space to make sure it is rooted to them. For instance, with my brother, above the mirror on the shelf, there are these 2 little like glass sculptures that Elena had, probably from traveling or maybe a gift, I'm not too sure, but they were displayed really cute in their room originally, so I carried it over to this room. I think that's really what makes a space as well, is adding those really small details that people might be like, oh, hey, where'd you get that? And there's a story behind it and it's tied to you versus like, oh, I got it at Home Goods. But right now we gotta dive into actually like taking the dust and everything off of this set. My friend Andrea and her dad Eddie made everything you see for this set. So Eddie made the table and the triangle, and Andrea made the geometric wood art and the patinaed steel that kind of rolls over to cover the door for shooting purposes. And then I kind of came in and helped with the table last minute to finish it up to feel like I did something. This wall is full of letters that I've received over the years of doing my YouTube channel and just different connections I have made. I also like to add little friendly reminders that I pick up here and there, like this bottle cap that says, "Let go or be dragged." Okay, so cleaned a little bit. Now we need to clean this weird moment that I have right here that's full of just like decor I need to take back that I originally bought for my brothers, decor I need to put back into my own storage, paint, tools, just nails, pieces of wood, a hat. I mean, there's just all types of stuff in this little pile. But before we dive into it, let's get into the second question, which is, the next question is by Keely. I hope that I said that correctly, but she asked, when did you decide that DIY was for you? Love watching your videos. Thank you so much for the love and support, you guys. I always think it's so weird that people actually watch my videos. But for me, I decided DIY was for me when I had to DIY a situation to get better with my health. I was working a 9-to-5 that caused a lot of stress. I actually go into a lot of detail on a different Q&A. I will link it for you. But basically it was just too stressful to work there and try to focus on recovering whatever the issue was going to be. We didn't know if it was gonna be something to be easily cured or something that was gonna take a little bit more of like a drastic measure. So I decided to quit, and I knew how to craft at the time. I started with like no-sew, bake, and hot glue DIY dollar store craft types of videos. And then once I got my hands on some tools, not even power tools, I just started to really like that more, and then I naturally progressed into what you see now. Now that I have power tools, that's the reason I DIY. The minute I got my hands on one and made, I forget what my first project is, I'll have it pop up right here, but even though looking back on it, it was kind of cringy, when I made it, I definitely felt like this needs to keep going and it needs to keep getting bigger and better. So that's when I knew DIY was for me. I just became addicted. Moving up to finishing the wood storage, I just sat down and pulled every single dowel that I haven't used in 6 months, and I put that aside because all the lumber that I'm getting rid of, my gardeners have seen me woodwork in my garage when the door is open, and they asked me like, hey, if you have any extra pieces of wood, feel free to leave them out for us. So I'll be giving those to them this week because they put it to good use with various types of projects that they need, and I love that. Now we're moving into my actual power tool section, like where the majority of my tools are stored, and that goes hand in hand with question number 3, which we'll get into in a second. 2 things I would like to kind of talk about before moving forward. 1, I want to upgrade my table from this workshop build, even though I love it, to a saw stop. It's just a safer piece of machinery. I move a little bit too quick, and I've gotten a little bit too close a couple of times with my table saw, and I just think it'd be a personal great investment for me. No, this is not sponsored by Saw Stop, but number 2, that kind of brings us into today's sponsor, because second, I want to I do want to provide plans for you for certain builds. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes covering dozens of creative and entrepreneurial skills, so you're bound to find a class that's going to inspire you. Premium memberships give you unlimited access so you can join the classes and communities that are just right for you and what you're looking for. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, Skillshare is a perfect place to keep you learning and thriving. Skillshare is also incredibly affordable, especially when compared to pricey in-person classes and workshop. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. Because Skillshare is sponsoring this video, you can sign up with the link in the description and get a 2-month free trial. I am for sure going to be checking out Emily Henderson's new class that is up there. I am dying over the fact she walks you through every single step of her styling. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna link the class down below for you as well, just because I'm kind of geeking out about it. But if you guys are interested in joining me on learning something new and kind of stepping outside of your comfort zone alongside me, don't forget to click that link down below to start your 2-month free trial. I'm really excited about learning how to do SketchUp with Skillshare. Total side note and honest note, because I think just being able to provide you guys something you can print and physically have in your hand and walk into a store with will be so helpful. Somebody literally just said, I do not have a question. You seemed a little bit stressed out in your latest videos. Just take a chill pill and relax. Trust me, it's like me saying, take a chill pill and relax from your 9 to 5. Sometimes you can't. And this last week has definitely been one of the more challenging weeks, especially because I took such a weird break from YouTube over the last month. But I'm happy to report you're only seeing me Wednesday, and then I'm only back next Wednesday, and we're just like maybe gonna do 2 videos a week depending, because I have a couple of giveaways. But I am grateful for your guys' concern, but I promise you, like literally right now in this moment, we are completely set up to be successful in December and stress-free. Successful and stress-free. That's our motto that month. Now we're over here where the inspiration for the entire garage came from, to be honest. It was my DIY garage makeover that I did with Home Depot, but this basically is my catch-all for anything in the house and just more materials that don't necessarily make sense to be out and about. Before we jump into this one, let's find another question. I actually get this one a lot. Amanda says, how did you start to learn small builds? Any tips for someone who would like to take on the challenge of learning to DIY/build things? And something that I do have to say is, for me, you guys honestly watched me get into builds, which I think is the coolest part, and that's what I like to say throughout any tutorial that I have, is I'm like the most unprofessional professional there is, because my whole channel is honestly showing you guys the projects that I was getting into to progress into using more and more power tools. That trash can is literally about to blow over, and I'm gonna have to chase it down the street and be a good neighbor. The best advice I could give you, to be completely honest, is to just try it. Whatever it is you're thinking about doing, just make it on a smaller scale. Or if you're like, oh, I want to use a hammer and understand how to nail a piece of wood into another to feel that force. I used to honestly get scrap pieces of wood and just use different tools on them, not building anything, just to feel what it feels like to use the tools. And then another advice for learning how to do small builds is YouTube. That is literally how I learned. I just got hooked on my favorite YouTubers, and I went back to the beginning of their channel and watched what they used to make versus what they made now, and I just noticed, like, everybody starts somewhere, and that was my main inspiration to jump into building. And I know that sounds super cliche, but it is honestly the truth. Now, wait, let's do one more actually. What do you do when you have a hard time trying to figure out how to design a room? I have no idea how to update my guest room and could use some tips. I really wish I was more qualified to answer these questions. For me, designing a room is always tough. Our master bedroom was really tricky to design, and it was really tricky to design because I had to let go of it being like conventionally Pinterest worthy or like Instagram worthy, and really tailor it to our lifestyle and how we use it. And not a lot of people like the black room. A lot of people hated the shopping bag wall and like the gallery wall I did, but I have to say our room is the coziest one in the house in my opinion. Just thinking back on that design, because that one was so difficult for me, was that I just trusted my gut. I trusted what I liked. I listened to Paul to implement what he wanted as well, and I just added my spin here and there with a small pop of color. And I remember just sitting back and being so happy that like my bedroom was complete and it was done and had like blackout curtains. I mean, and that's like the smallest detail, but it's just, I think when it's hard to design a room, I think you just need to pull yourself back and be like, okay, well, what do I like? What do we do? How does this function? And then it will just start to naturally hit you like left and right, these little how to handle the room, and you'll tackle it wall by wall. Okay, now let's clean this thing. This workshop bench is no longer available on homedepot.com, but this was the original workbench that inspired the entire garage makeover at the beginning. Was it the beginning of this year? Oh my gosh, no. Last year? I don't remember. Over here in this area, I have my spray paint, stains, finishes, paint buckets, random excess batteries, and then all my crafts to the right-hand side, and to the left is slowly filling with different types of hardware and other scrap pieces of material, or even just light bulbs. The drawers are more for like sandpaper, screws, bolts, different types of door handles that I have, little things that need to be organized within there. And with all the painting that I have been doing, I now have a full-blown painting room section on the bottom portion of my workshop storage. So that's always fun, even though I hate painting. Hello, am I working too much? How you doing, baby? Yeah, how you doing? You want to answer some questions while I take a little cleaning break? Okay, so the next question is it harder to wait for everything or come up with an idea? I'm redoing my room soon, and I would like very much to know. Thank you if you see this. Is it harder to wait for everything or come up with an idea? I'm not quite sure what you mean. If you're referring to, is it hard to come up with a room scheme, I would definitely start with a color, like your preference of color. What's your workout routine? Because girl, you fit. used to work out 5 days a week weight training and then do Pilates 4 times a week. That was so unhealthy. So now I do Pilates like 3 times a week and then weight train 2 to 3. But now that I'm building a gym in the house, that's gonna change, and I can kind of bring you more into the fitness side of my life because I love working out. How long did it take you to build your tool collection from your shop? Because of all the incredible sponsors that I've had, I've been really blessed to be able to build my my tool collection probably in like 1.5 years, 2 years, because I just started using power tools about 2 years ago. So it's basically like, we'll just say a good 2 years. What was your favorite DIY you ever did? I think I'm also covered in dog hair and dust, but that's like literally my life. Not like my favorite to do by any means. It was very challenging and super hard, but hands down, it was the bathroom at my parents' house because I grew up in that bathroom and it literally never looked like that. It was never refinished or done, but then when everybody moved out, my dad would like start to have demo different rooms or different spaces in the house or start different projects, and the bathroom was just one that kind of ended up being like they didn't need to use that bathroom. They had a master bathroom in their bedroom, so it just kind of got pushed to the side. So when we had the opportunity to work together, I don't know, I just found like a new appreciation for my dad, because even that was so hard, and you guys can tell by that bathroom tutorial, he did a ton of the work. He did basically all the work, and I like recorded it and was his assistant. But I didn't even care because that was what I did my entire life growing up with him. So it was like really cool to be back in that element, but it being my career and also being able to give back to my parents. So that, I think, was my favorite DIY. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up just the tedious cleaningness and kind of give you tips and tricks as to how I stay organized within the shop once it is clean. I do want to thank you, Skillshare, again for sponsoring today's video. I know this is a little bit of a different video, but I really did, as that comment said underneath this post in the community tab, I really did need to just calm down, recenter, and like just go into December being successful and stress-free. And I think cleaning up this shop and being able to like talk to you guys and just being able to like sit and answer questions, it kind of feels like you guys are here cleaning my shop with me. So also thank you to you. But I'm done being mushy. Let's just get back into it and get the shop clean, because I'm also now having the urge to wipe down every single light bulb because there's a ton out and they're dusty and crusty. So let's just get to it. I do have to say, it feels so good to just get this space under control, get my mind right, and just be able to recenter with the community that makes me me, and me be able to do all the things that I love. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this isn't typically a video that I make, but I am really excited to be able to bring you more into my workshop space, my home base, you know, where I run this whole one-woman show, and the reason I'm able to run this one-woman show consistently with your support. So now that everything is clean, oh, I have so many lists with so many incredible builds, but I do want to know what you guys want to see moving into the month of December, so be sure to drop a comment down below. Feel free to ask away, tell me your comments or concerns, whatever it is. I try to respond to absolutely everybody every single time. Sometimes I get a little bit caught up, so I apologize, but I'll see you next Wednesday for another DIY.